episode of the Self-Development with Tactics podcast. Today we are once again gonna go through some Seth's blog posts. Why? Because of this certain feeling that I've described the last time. This feeling of feeling understood. This generosity, this this energy that I'm getting out of reading his stuff. And I do remember that there's a button where you can randomize like what you're seeing, what blog post you're seeing. And maybe we're gonna do that. But I think that there is two that are quote unquote worth reading now, or that I wanna go through now. There we go. This should be fine indeed. Yeah. So let's have a look. The first one is the generosity of concealment. I hope that it is concealment, even though I'm not quite sure. Human beings never reveal all of our emotions. We don't simply blurt out the first things that pops into our head in a meeting or insult someone upon meeting them. We're able to give people the benefit of the doubt, which requires doubt before we can offer the benefit and to plan for the long haul. And yet we do this essential work without thinking about it or working to get better at it. When we are engaging with someone, both sides benefit. And a key part of our contribution to the interaction is a willingness to conceal emotions that would undermine the efforts of our partner in this work. There is a lot to be said for honesty and directness, but concealment can be a generous tool if it helps everyone to get where they need to go. I think this might also tie into like gossip and talking about other people and this, general thought of never trying to do any bad to anybody or anyone. I think it is a good rule to live by. I think it is a good rule to keep in mind. I mean, what is the benefit for you? Of course, I do understand, some people have been dickheads throughout their lives and, probably towards you. And this is a reason why somebody is feeling really revengeful towards other people or towards this particular person. But I think in the end, there's seldomly a lot of benefit of or benefit in engaging in these certain tasks, in being a dickhead yourself and revenging yourself, doing something bad to this other person. This is a thought that the following thought is one that I think have shared throughout the years quite a bit, which is the right thing versus what is easy. And very seldomly, what is easy is also the right thing. What might be easy is also revenging yourself and also being bad towards this person or, doing some things. But the right thing actually is not doing so. And I guess this question, in general, questions are really great ways to, I think, see whether you are on the right path or you are not. But yeah, 99 versus 0, this was a very interesting one. So let's go. If you get a 99% quality haircut or a 99% close to perfect meal, it is better than good. On the other hand, if the scrub nurse only does a 99% job of disinfecting the tools in the operating room, you're still going to die of an infection. Some projects respond very well to ordinary effort and 99% effort, or perfect. Maybe even 80%. In fact, the last 1% isn't worth the time, the effort, or the focus. Others fail if they're not fully and completely to spec. Knowing the difference between the two saves everyone a lot of stress and avoids needless cost and avoidable disasters. We come out ahead when we put our energy into the projects that reward our effort and choose to meet spec with the others. Yes, and I think the ones that are in this department of 0%, like, you need to be really perfect, like completely perfect, to make this work. It's not a lot of tasks. It's not a lot of things. It's just, not a lot, period. Really not a lot, but I mean, I think one problem that I've been seeing is, of course, I do, well, for example, let's put it like this. Me as a freelance graphic designer doing some stuff for somebody. Let's say I'm doing some social media posting for someone or a poster design for somebody. In the end, one issue that I've encountered is, people judging creative. Of course, people know what their audience wants. It also depends on, whether they have been in this business for quite some time or whether they are, quite new to this certain business and whatever. But sometimes they do know what their audience wants, and so them judging it is indirectly also their audience, their community, the people that are going to this certain whatever event or whatever, what they would like to see, and what is what lets them engage in this certain ad. But the thing is, 80% good or 80% perfection in a poster, I think is really enough. Maybe even 60% and 70%. It really is enough. I do always understand, if you're having like, I don't know, if you're a group or a company that is organizing stuff and you are organizing like an event once a month or something, or maybe twice a month, I do understand that subjectively speaking, the ads should be kind of perfect because you think I'm doing this like twice a month and I want it to be perfect twice a month. So I'm also demanding that the people that I'm working it are doing it perfectly, or we're just doing it as long as it takes to be perfect. But on the other hand, when I'm doing things on a regular basis, there's no need to it being perfect. Not even 80% perfect. Maybe. It is interesting. It really is interesting. For me, it's always like, with the stuff that I'm doing, there is some sort of a satisfaction curve, or threshold. And once I'm at this, or a bit over it, or just maybe way above it, I'm fine with it. But I don't know. Some things are turning out to be quite good. Some other things not turn out to be that good. And it's also about systems. Having certain systems in place so that you're as fast as you can be while producing some things that are good, great, whatever. But yeah. Anyway. When it comes to perfectness, I seldomly think that things need to be that perfect. But most often, pushing out. Maybe this is also me, and I mean, as you can see with the podcast, it's being uploaded closely every day. On YouTube, there is something every day. On the podcast, there is not something every day. It depends on, how much time I'm having and whatever. But for like a really extended period of time, I've been doing it every single fucking day. Also because of something that Seth is talking about, which is today is today, and therefore today I'm writing a blog post. Not because I want to do so, not because I need to do so, not because of whatever reason, but just because today is today. I mean, you can put this in just, various different like perspectives, I guess, and view it in different lights. But yeah, anyway. Story of the week. Popular posts and an archive. Let's see the story of the week. Unaware Snoop. I think that I have read that already. But I can't, can we? Let's see. There once was I think there was a button or some star shit where you could rate like every single post. But the funny thing about it is, when I'm rating such a blog post, I am not really rating like the writing. I don't care about the writing. I'm not really, but this is just me, you know. I think people like us do things like this really matters here. If you really clearly know your audience, you know whether they care about good writing or they don't. Probably the majority of people that are reading Seth's work, because he is an author and a writer, do care about that and do care about proper grammar and whatever, and maybe creative ideas and whatever in the end. And this is also something that I've come to realize. In the end, one is always producing something for somebody, whatever it might be. This blog post is for the people that are reading it. And when I'm in a company, I'm probably doing stuff for my boss. So if I clearly know what my boss likes to see, likes to have, likes to whatever, it makes sense to do so, to do exactly that, because it's going to be fine, period, I guess, might not be applicable to, or applicable, I never ever know, to, every single field, probably really not, but in the end, very often this is the case. Let's see, maybe popular posts. Recent popular posts, all-time most popular posts. Quality and effort. This might just be the one thing that I've been talking about the past 10 minutes? I don't know. It seems as though the opposite of careless ought to be careful. That's the best way to avoid unavoidable errors, is to try harder, to put more care into the work. This means that if surgeons were more careful, there would be fewer errors, and that so many of the mistakes that mess things up would go away if people just tried harder. And this is true for a while, but then it is not effort but systems that matter. Years ago I created a trivia game for Prodigy. The first batch of 1000 questions was 97% perfect, which is fine until you realize that this meant that 30 questions had an error, and every error ruins the experience for the user. The second batch we tried extra hard, really hard. Our backs were against the wall, we couldn't afford any errors. Our effort paid off in 50% decrease in errors. So we were down to 1.5%. Alas, that's still 15 game breaks or breakers. Then I got smart and changed the system. Instead of having trivia writers work really hard to avoid mistakes, we divided our team in half. Half the team used the encyclopedia, yes, it was a long time ago, to write the questions, and they made a photocopy of the source along with the question and put it in a notebook. The other half of the team got the notebook and was charged with answering the questions based on the source. They got bonus of $20 for every question they found where the answer was correct than the normal, where their answer was more correct, than the original, which, by the way, is interestingly written, something being more correct being like, it's already done, the same as I'm more dead than you are. The result of the new system, 0 error for the next 5,000 questions. We need to put care in our systems. We need to build checklists and peer review and resilience into the way we express our carefulness. It seems ridiculous that a surgeon needs to write her name with a Sharpie on the limb that she's about to operate on, but this simple system adjustment means that errors involving working on the wrong limb will go to 0. In school, I don't know what this means. Kids to be more careful and spend approximately 0 time teaching them to build better systems. Instead, we ignore checklists and processes because we've been taught that they are beneath us. Instead of reacting to an error with, I need to be more careful, we can respond with, I can build a better system. if it matters enough to be careful, it matters enough to build a system around it. I think system, good synonym for system in this case would be approach. This, by the way, was from November 1st, 2018. When I clearly see that, maybe the way I am learning things is not very good for me, I'm not able to remember a lot of things. Maybe I should not work harder, but change the way I am working. So maybe I'm not gonna, have flashcards, but I'm writing everything down. I'm just, testing myself by the means of having a test, and so on and so forth. I think really good advice, very important to not forget about the system, that we are using, the approach, and whatever. Let's maybe click on random for once. How would you like things to be? We know how things are. How could we not? And we see the emotional rut that so many have fallen into as well. The question is, will you embrace an emotional posture that models how you would like to feel instead? Today, this day, we only get it once. How do you want today to feel on an emotional level? It takes effort, but it is a choice. We can't change how things are in any given moment, but we can change how we will approach today. And yes, an attitude can spread. Begin with us. And with that being said, I'm going to end the episode here. Wish you the best and see you soon. So